Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping safe. Just thought to help with your home learning, I would demonstrate something that you can make at home with some basic basic ingredients that you might have in the cupboard. So I'm going to make some cheesy scone whirls. Now before you go, have a go at them, they're delicious. Okay, and you can modify them to include or change some of the ingredients I put in, so I'll say that as I'm going along what you can change. Basic ingredients you'll need are 200 grams of self-raising flour. If you haven't got self-raising flour, you can use plain flour and a teaspoon of, or a level teaspoon of baking powder. That's to make your dough, and basically we're going to use the rubbing in method. So as most of you will know, you need butter or margarine, a fat of some kind to rub into the flour. So we've got 50 grams of butter or margarine, and I'm just cutting that up with my knife so that it's coated in the flour. And as I've taught you from year 7, you do that so that the lumps of butter aren't dead sticky. And then we're going to use fingertips to do the rubbing in method. And again, something we've done quite recently in year 7, we just use the fingertips. And I hope you're all shouting at me now, because it's cooler than the palm, so your margarine or your butter doesn't melt and go dead sticky. And it's also makes it really easy to grab. And you're doing show me the money, which is just your fingertips, rubbing those. And this is a basic rubbing in method. And you can do this you can use this cheesy scone base for a pizza as well if you want, or just roll it flat and you can put some toppings on, or you can cut it thicker and make cheese scones. But see what you think of them when they're finished and give it a go. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. Okay, so you know when it's finished rubbing in because it looks like breadcrumbs and it's a breadcrumb stage, and in other words there's no big fat lumps of butter. If your butter's dead hard, it will be harder to rub in, okay, but you can use margarine or soft spreadable butter like I have. If you give your bowl a shake, any big fat lumps will come to the top and you can target them, okay? And that's just your crumb mixture, so it's like breadcrumbs or sand, I usually say, don't I? So there's your basic dough. I'm going to add liquid to it to make it into a dough. I'll put a little bit of salt in, but you don't have to. I'm also going to put in a bit of grated cheese. And when I say a bit, it's probably about 25 grams or 50 grams, but you can just use what you've got, and I do that because it makes the dough a little bit more cheesy. And then I'm going to add my liquid. Now, always the tricky part, because sometimes you end up with too much and it's a sticky mess, and sometimes you end up with too little and it's dry, so it's judgment really. I'm going to make a little well in the middle, and these are dessert spoons really. I haven't got big tablespoons at home, so I'll just give you a guide. So 1, 2, I'm going to start off with about 4 spoonfuls of milk. If you don't have milk, you could use water, but this makes a kind of richer dough. Using a flat bladed knife, just going to stir that in. You can hear me scraping the bowl, and that shows that I'm really moving the breadcrumbs round the bottom of the bowl. And I haven't brought my glass bowl home, so I can't show you that. But you can see that it's starting to lump together, and that's what we want. So that's 4 dessert spoonfuls. So a dessert spoonful is the middle size of spoon. So you might have these in your drawer at home that you eat your pudding with. And I'm going to put another 4 in. Whoops. So that's all together so far about 8. But I think you know that already. I have washed my hands. And I haven't got to use it at home either. Can you hear me really scraping that now? You can see the difference in the dough. So it's starting to clump together now. If you can pull it together like that, and it's going quite nicely, it's okay. If you need to, just add, you can even just wet your fingers in the milk or the water, and just sometimes just that little bit extra just helps it stick together. And that is a basic cheese scone. You can give it a little knead, but it's not like bread. It doesn't like loads of kneading. It's just kneading it to kind of stop it falling apart really. That's your dough, okay? You can use, by the way, I never mentioned I'm using cheddar, but you could use any kind of hard cheese. So now, if you were doing cheese scones, you'd roll that out quite fat and cut it up. You could even roll it into a circle and score it and cook it like that with some grated cheese on the top. Be really nice. You could glaze it with some milk. But I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to make some whirls. Got my dough. I'm going to roll it out. If you need a little bit of flour, you can scatter a little bit over. This top is quite good, it's quite non-stick, but don't put loads down, just enough to stop it from sticking. And I want a squarish kind of shape. Those year 8s who've made Chelsea buns with me, it's a bit like a savoury Chelsea bun, to be honest. So I'm going to roll, okay, and shape, move it so that it doesn't stick. Just square off the ends. You don't need to cut anything with a sharp knife. And you're just going to roll it until it's quite thin. They usually say the size of the thickness of a £1 coin, but turn it and you can see that I'm not too bothered about right angles, but it should be a squarish sort of shape, because now you're going to do exactly what we do with Chelsea buns. You're going to put a filling on there. I've got about 100 grams of grated cheese ready, and as I said, you can mix your cheese, you can put strong cheese in, mild cheese in, stringy cheese, it doesn't really matter. Usually if it's hard, you can grate it. It's better than like a crumbly cheese like Wensleydale or Cheshire. I'm going to chop the onion. You could use spring onions if you wanted. They're quite easy to prepare. You could leave the onion out. You could put herbs in. Parsley's quite nice. Or you can put ham in, bacon, something like that would be really nice. So remember your onion. Head. And I call that the hairy bottom, don't I? Because I say don't touch the hairy bottom, just to make you remember. So we're going to be off with its head, so hold your sharp knife firmly. And for those eagle-eyed amongst you, you will notice I am using the wrong coloured chopping board. It should be brown, as I know you're all saying, but I haven't got a brown chopping board at home, so I'm using green. So chopped its head off, got a flat bottom, that doesn't roll around. Bridge cut, and I'm going to position my knife, and I'm looking what I'm doing, and I'm going to cut through its root or its hairy bottom. Now you can see that that root holds everything together, so if you leave that in place, it's much easier to cut the onion. It stops it from chasing it around the chopping board, and less chance of you cutting your fingers. Now I'm probably only going to put half an onion in this, okay? So I'm going to again use bridge cut, excuse my floury fingers, bridge cut, position my knife, and I'm going to cut almost through to that root. Okay, I'm looking what I'm doing, remember your knife safety. You can buy frozen onions, ready cut onions, but they're so cheap to buy onions, and once you know how to prepare them, they're really easy. And the other thing about not taking that root off, this is where all the acid comes from that makes you cry. So if you leave that on, it delays you crying, it delays that kind of like effect on your eyes. So I've done bridge, right, and it's still holding all together apart from that bit there. So I'm now going to do claw. So I'm going to hold it. Remember, it's like 3 fingers super glued together, and the point of this is your thumb's out the way. And I'm looking what I'm doing, holding it firmly. When I get to the end, or when I've got enough, I can just throw that bit, okay? And that's my diced onion. Easy peasy. Onion, cheese together. I'm going to put an egg in. Whack, give that a whack. Be firm with it. If you're not confident putting it straight in, you can do it a little bowl first. And the point of the egg is to bind all this together. In this particular case, we know that eggs are really versatile. They do lots of different things. And in this case, it's binding. Look how it's sticking all that cheese. And a nice thing that happens when this goes in the oven, it kind of puffs up as well. Makes it nice and like, I don't know, squidgy when it's in the roll. So there's my mixture. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of salt in. I did say don't put much salt in. And a little bit of ground pepper, okay. You can put herbs in, you can put chopped ham in, bacon, and make it more of a more of a lunch thing. You could even put tomato puree and put this on top and do like pizza rolls. That's quite a nice thing to do. And I'm going to scoop. There's quite a lot of filling here, so you could, if you're running out of cheese, you could put a bit less on. I like the filling more than the dough. So spread it to the edge. Okay, nice and evenly. Spread it out. And one thing I've forgotten to do, which I'm going to do in a moment, because my oven heats up quite quickly, I'm just going to pop the oven on. Now the oven is on about 200 degrees. Let me switch my hands in. So the oven goes on. For the fun bit, you're going to roll it up. So squidge it, make sure you're going for a curly whirly swirl. You're not pushing it. If you push it, all the filling will push off. So just take your time. You can get someone else to do the other half of it, and you're going to roll it. And look how I'm not rushing. I can do this bit and then I can do that bit. And I'm going up and down, squidgy, squidgy, tucking it in. Any bits that fall out, you can stick those back in. Don't waste it. And you're going to make a long sausage. Okay, and when it's in that sausage shape, and this should remind you of Chelsea buns, you can give it a squeeze and a bit of a roll, and that should seal itself on there. And always when you've got like something like this, put the seal on the bottom, and that helps it stay in shape. Square up the ends, and then we're going to cut it up. So all we're going to do, use your knife, and I'm going to guesstimate how many I'm going to make. So that's half, let's say, I think I'm probably going to make 8, but it's up to you. You can do them thinner, or you can do them thicker. Good thing about scoring it is that you can always change your mind. So hold it firmly, use your knife like a sawing action, and you get a nice swirl. So we're going to cut those. Again, remember, keep your fingers out of the way. The end ones are always a little bit more raggy, but they still look nice. There we go. Ooh, oh heck, look at that. Failed at the last one. Doesn't matter, just squidge it down. Roll it, no one will know. Get your baking tray. If you've got baking parchment you can use in school, you can use that greaseproof paper, but really it's only to stop it from sticking. You can put a little bit of grease in if you want. My tray's a non-stick one, so I'm just going to pop it straight in. And the good thing about it is you saw that one fall apart, you can just, like little soldiers, you can get them standing up next to one another, and they can touch, just like when you go to buy bread in Barnes and things like in Asda and places. They're stuck together, it's no problem. And then there's something nice about when they come out, you can break them apart. Okay, you can squash that down to the same size. Lovely. So they go into the oven for about 15-20 minutes, and when they come out, they are golden brown and the filling will have puffed up a bit inside. Okay, you don't really need to glaze them. If you want to, you can do, but there's not much to glaze because of the doughs, most of the filling's showing. You can also scatter some extra cheese on top if you want, it's up to you. And I think that's it, so I'll see you when they come out of the oven. I've got a bit of clearing up to do. It's time to take cheesy whirls out of the oven. They've been in there for about 15 to 20 minutes, so we'll have a quick look at them. And you can see that golden brown, even colour, and they smell lovely. So we're going to put those on there, and we can just remove them with a fish slice, which I can't find, so we'll use this spatula. And they are looking really nice, and they should, can you see how they're just nice, and the dough looks nice and soft, and they should taste yummy. Okay, that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed watching that, and I hope you have a go at making them, and I hope you enjoy them. I'll probably have a go at making some other things online, so if you have any requests, let me know, and I look forward to seeing you and communicating with you soon. Take care.